say. They make me glad, they make me sad, they make me want a lot of things that I never had.
What a great hit song from Emile Ford in 1959. How did we meet? Well, an agent friend of mine phoned me and said, "Lawrie, would you be free to go to South Wales for me for 2 weeks? It's a one-nighter show. Could you do your act and manage the show for me as well, please?" I said, "Yeah, who's the star?" He says, "Emile Ford." Ah, Emile Ford, I remember him. Certainly.
What do you wanna make good eyes at me for? If they don't mean what they say. They make me glad, they make me sad, they make me want a lot of things that I never had.
Well, Emile packed everywhere he went. It was standing room only. He was dynamite. As soon as he walked on in his catsuit, which was open right down the middle, which made all the ladies swoon and scream, he couldn't get off. They wouldn't let him go. He always did 3 encores every night. And then he would stand and sign his LPs and autographs and have a chat. I also signed my records during the interval before him. And when we got back to the dig, because we were in the same digs, he said, "Lawrie, how many records did you sell?" So I told him. He said, "Oh, I sold a bit more than that." I said, "Yes, but I bet I made the same as you, or maybe a bit more money than you." He said, "How's that?" I said, "Well, my records were £1 each." "Yeah? And your records were only 50p each. And my sleeve looked a lot better than yours. Yours was not exactly tempting. You could do a better sleeve for your record than that one." I also told him, "You know, Emile, you're working far too cheap. I'm making more than you are. You're packing the place. You should have been a lot more money than that." When I started, packed theatres and I wasn't getting what I should have been. I said, "Nothing had changed then, is it?" He said, "No." He said, "But when I fell out with the grades, I couldn't get any work. I went back to Sweden, where I was living. And then," he said, "now I'm back." He said, "But I think maybe I've left it a bit too late, because all I seem to be able to get is £50 a night in bingo halls." At the end of the week, Emile asked me to manage him. I said, "Right, well, okay, I'll play it straight with you. You always play it straight with me. We won't have a contract agreement. Let's just go for a gentleman's shake of hands agreement." I booked him in my own shows and then advertised him countrywide. Bearing in mind, in Wales he was earning £35 a night. I soon had him up to £400 a night and rising, and the phone never stopped ringing. One day my wee daughter Tracy shouted at me and said, Dad, quick, come quick, there's a big car pulling up right outside our door." A green convertible Rolls Royce, and out stepped Emile. I went out, he grabbed my hands and he said, "Lawrie, thank you. This is all down to you. Thank you so much." Things were going great. He was back in demand again, heading upwards. However, suddenly there started to be some problems along the road. At the Winter Gardens nightclub, he refused to use the orchestra, so they walked out. He had very cleverly invented a system using recorded backing tapes. The sound was great. He received his usual standing ovation and went as big as anyone could go. Then K-Tel Records USA phoned me up and said, "We can do a deal with you for Emile Ford." I said, "Oh yeah, we want him to re-record some of his hits for us." "Well, pay the fares all over to America, fly him over here. He'll have a bigger town, the limo waiting for him. He'll get the red carpet star treatment. I said, okay, let me put it to him, which I did. And he said, no, I don't want to do it. So we parted company. I liked him. He was very likeable. And he was a fantastic entertainer. He had that magic.
You're fooling around with me now. Well, you lead me on and then you run away. Well, that's alright. I'll get you alone some night. And baby, you'll find you're messing with dynamite. So what do you wanna make with eyes at me for? If they don't mean what they say, if they don't mean what they say. Well, you lead me on and then you run away. Well, that's alright. I'll get you alone tonight. And baby, you'll find you're messing with dynamite. So what do you wanna make those eyes at me for? If they don't mean what they say. What do you wanna make those eyes at me for? If they don't mean what they say. They make me glad, they make me sad. They make me want a lot of things that I never had. You're fooling around with me now. Well, you lead me on and then you run away. Well, that's alright. I'll get you alone some night. And baby, you'll find you're messing with dynamite. So what do you wanna make those eyes at me for? If they don't mean what they say, if they don't mean what they say.